Okay, testing. Okay, mic's good. All right, let's go. All right, we're gonna work on the Jigsaw inventory system. Actually, we're pretty much done as far as the mechanics and inventory system go. There's still some like aesthetic stuff that we can do. Like here, I'll bring it up while I'm talking. But we're gonna go to we're gonna take a look and see how we can save our data for our inventory. So that's like the biggest thing I'm working on right now is trying to get the save system working. So whenever I'm like, testing everything and I'm going from A to B, like I want to test out a level, it really doesn't feel like anything matters without having that save system in place. So that is what I'm gonna work on. Probably gonna be a pretty short stream, 20-30 minutes. But yeah, let me see. Okay, we're still loading there. Oh yeah, did y'all see that? Disney sues Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. It's pretty awesome. I think Ron's gonna go down. If Disney's after you, good luck. All right, here we go. All right. Let's go. We can just click play here, yeah. Oh, let me switch. Y'all can. There we go. That's the better one. Okay. All right. So if I click I, let me get rid of all these screen messages. There we go. Okay, so we've got the inventory grid right here, and I can drag my shovel around. We can see that it's green or it turns red, etc. So that's the part easy. I mean, that's the part sort of like that came working with ArcInventory, right? The harder part was getting the grid based size to work. So if we click and drag this, you'll notice we've got a 2x1. That was the part that was hard to code. Well, not necessarily hard, but took time, right? It didn't come out of the box. So I can bring that there. And right now, that's what the developer said for this plugin. He's like, just go ahead and duplicate it across multiple slots, right? He's fixed it before in like 1.0, and that's sort of the expectation, right? It is if you've got an item that takes up more than 2 or 3 slots, then that item should occupy those slots. Now, eventually you'll want to have a larger graphic to represent that, right? And it shouldn't be it's sort of confusing to have them both right there. But that's UI stuff. That's fixable, right? But the important part is 2x1, and I can change that. I could technically have any size I want. I can probably go up to 5x1 or 5x2. It doesn't really matter. But okay, anyways, so the issue right now is like, okay, so grid system mechanically works and everything, but if I want to save, right? Or if I reload, I'll just say, yeah, everything resets, right? So, even if I were to go and loot all these things, the inventory sort of resets every time. So I don't want that. So what are we gonna do? We're going to work on the save system portion of this. So if I bring this up, I've started this a little bit. Actually, what I can do before we go over there, before we get in there, I wanted to show some of the logic that was coded. So if you look like here. So these items, how they're defined is very dynamically, I think with ECS or Entity Component Framework in mind, right? So this one item, it's a rifle. You've got all these individual fragments, right? So these fragments make up the definition of the item. So you can add, you know, in your normal item definition, you might have, you know, item title, item ID, item durability, item, you know, liquid remaining, right? But you don't really want liquid remaining to be on, say, like a portrait on the wall or like a notebook. You know, you don't need liquid remaining content there. So that's where the tinker's trying to leave. But that's where you want fragments. That's where fragments come in. So each one of these sort of have a unique encapsulated sort of use, right? So you can sort of see what they all are. If you notice, there's actually a duplicate that threw me off the first time too, but you can have the same fragment in there. How you differentiate them is with tags. So arc item fragment text, right? So this is an M16 rifle, a gun that go shooty, right? And fragment tags, if you see here, item fragment text name, item fragment text description. So it's a very dynamic way to sort of do that. So we've got one fragment that I've set up for this use case, which is EFZ arc item fragment grid size, right? So this shows your grid size. So this is the one that I have. This is the rifle. It's 2 by 1. Haven't tried this yet. Let's see what happens. All right, well, let's go crazy. Let's do 3 by 2. All right, so if I click this and drag this over, it works. It works. Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Hey, that's pretty good, actually. I like it. Go back and equip this. Okay. Bang, bang. All right. Okay, so going back. I'll change that back for now because it'll just get annoying later. All right, cool. So that works. Okay. So that's part of it, right? Is this new fragment I added called grid size. So if I go, I'll go here. So here's the fragment in C++, right? So I added some other things. I went over in last video like how I created the mappings, right? So that's essentially what we're doing. We've got that map. I hate this preview thing. Somehow my Visual Studio settings got reset at some point. Whatever. I think I can reload it. Anyways. So I have this definition up front. I'm gonna go here. This is the right one? Yeah, okay. Pin it and pin it. We'll be using these. Okay, so slot to grid ID map and grid to slot ID map. This is what we went over in last video. So these are all set up and defined by the grid bag processor. So we sort of have a mapping of like what the slot ID is to the grid ID. So I've got all that defined, and then if you want to see more on that, you can go look at that other video. Okay, so what we're doing here. So we went over this a little bit last time, but I'll show you what's changed. Swap item slots, right? So we do this, we do the normal, we get our source. I have some setup here, blah, 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 boring. What does this do? So this one, we are getting all slot references. And if so I was doing it to where I was calculating the item size and saying, where was it before? And then, all right, well, it was in grid 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3, right? Well, I've changed that to where now it just scans the entire inventory for that one item upon removal, and it will remove all the instances of that item and place it in the new slot, right? So that's what this is doing. It's logging existing locations for all slot references. Okay, so that's what this is doing. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so once we've got all that going, then here we've got if our source slot has tags, what is this? A backslot tag. So if our source slot is a backslot, right? Oh, if it does not. Okay, so if it's coming from, like if we have it equipped, right? we don't care about removing it from those slots because that's taking up 1. So here we set that flag. Should remove item from ref from old slots. False. And then here we have another one. Is destination slot in bag. So that's the same concept. If we're bringing it into, if we're equipping it, then we don't care about propagating it to a billion other slots. We're just equipping it. So here we do that here. Can we place that item in a grid location? If we can't, then we return false here. Okay, yada yada yada. Okay, so now since we're extending this function that came with it, we call super. So now we actually do it. Now we do the original functionality, which will do the normal swap between slot A and slot B. After that's done, we say bool, did a swap, and then we say, is it a normal size item? So if it's a normal size item, the super function did it already. If not, then we're checking to see, so if that's not a normal size, and did we swap items? So we're making sure that we swap the original item and that we have additional slots to fuck with. So here we say, is the destination slot in a bag? So are we moving this in a bag somewhere? If so, then we're going to find out where all of our new don't propagate grid item to other slots if it's not a bag slot. Yeah. So here we can say, here we are propagating it everywhere. So if we put it in 3 0 and it's a 2 1, then it needs to go in 3 0 and 4 0. So the supercode already put it in 3 0. So now we need to put it in 4 0. Or if it's a 2 by 2, we would need to put it in 3 1 and 4 1. So that's what this is doing. That's a debug code here because couldn't figure out what was going on earlier. Okay, and so this is where it changed up a little bit. I removed all this. This was like trying to calculate the old positions. I said, fuck that. We're just gonna figure out where it was at the top here and cache it. And then once we get here, we can just remove it, assuming that we didn't move it in sort of the same slot, right? And I think that's it. Oh, the one other thing I had to change. So I think it's right. Can place item stack in slot. So out of this functionality for the user design experience, etc., we've got a item placement item. Is that better? Hello. We got a okay, let's check this out. Item placement query result. This right here, slot refs right here, the array of slot refs. So these are all the refs that we might place the item in, right? And then we also have is valid placement. So if we go back, what we're doing at the top of that function, we say can place item stack in slot. All right, so here at the beginning of the function, we say everything's false, and we clear out our slot refs, and we add the original destination slot, like where we're intentionally going to put it. And then yada, 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 yada. Okay, here we at the, okay, so if it's not, so if the slot doesn't exist, or if the destination slot is occupied by another item, then we do that. We say is valid, so if is valid, placement false. Okay, so here we set all those, and if we get to this point, is valid placement true, we've added those reference slots here for everywhere we're going to put it, and then the this one we set it to true, so we pass that back, right? Or every time we call this, we're sort of caching that query result. And so what that enables us to do is on the UI side of things, we can do the green, right? So this green is all the green right there and the red right here. the preview colors, to show the user whether they can actually place it there or not. That's all done with that functionality right here, because it's actually checking the query results and it's figuring out, all right, where are we trying to place it, and is it a valid placement, right? That's all enabled via that. Okay, what else? I think that's it. Get all grid locations for item placement. Some of these functions aren't used anymore. Maybe I'll clean it up. Probably not. I think that's really the gist of it. If you have any questions, let me know. This should be pretty easily reproducible if you wanted to create a Jigsaw inventory with ArcInventory as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. We'll go ahead and start coding the save functionality. So how I'm gonna do this, how I'm planning on doing this. EFC arc item defs. Right here, right here. Let's see. Actually, I might. Oh, it's like 7:30. Is it raining right now? I'll find out. I might want to go. Might want to go take her for a run. Huh? Alright, well I'll go ahead and call it there. That's fine. At least I got to explain how I did it. Next up, we're going to do the save data. See if we can get this save data rocking and rolling. Yeah. Okay, we'll call it there. Thank you. Bye.